Who's their medic?
Mercy.
Should just cap and let's go.
Get ready to pre-fire. Shoot, pre-fire the rockets.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Nursey.
Nursey.
Oh! Okay.
Yeah. Hello guys, it's me, Nerby, and I'm going to be going over arguably the most overpowered weapon in Team Fortress 2, the crossbow. While that may sound a bit extreme, since it's not typically known for killing people in fast periods, it's easy to argue it's the most overpowered weapon for one really simple reason. It's a necessity to run in every possible game mode in TF2. Hell, it works even in Group Keep, the melee-only game mode. While I'm well aware a handful of mechs avoid using the crossbow, that doesn't change the fact that it is definitively the best weapon to use for Medic. Medic is needed in every game mode. The ability to clutch, heal, and change the tides of a 1v1 for your teammates from a safe distance, or even a few well-placed bolts changing the tide of a whole team battle, is super valuable. It doesn't hurt that the weapon still builds uber upon healing people, and if you can manage to consistently hit people who are within crit heal range, then the weapon actually builds uber faster than the traditional means. I'm sure you don't need to hear a whole sales pitch from me about how great this weapon is, so let's get started with some tricks and tips to use to keep up your crossbow mechanics. Something to keep in mind, the best practice will always be to just play Medic, whether it be in a community or casual server, a pickup game, or ulti duo. This is true for more than practicing the crossbow, just to get better at Medic in general. Just remember, be self-conscious of your mistakes and be eager to learn from them. Even the best in the world mess up, and what separates the best from the rest is the ability to accept your failures and grow from them. General tips I would give for the crossbow is to aim small, and let me be clear on that. A big mistake I see people make in lower level gameplay, and occasionally in the high level, is the overusage of the crossbow. While the crossbow is an amazing weapon with amazing clutch capabilities, it's important to keep in mind that unless you're hearing people who are in crit heal range, then you're essentially wasting your time building uber, which is a mechanic that is essential for basically how every push works in the game. Aim small while using the crossbow situations are absolutely safe to shoot in. I'm sure many of you have died at 90% uber and above, and this typically means if you shot one less crossbow, you could have had that uber. Safe situations to use the crossbow would be when you're by yourself, either while retreating or while unable to push a choke while your team is finishing up a push. Since you're unable to heal anyone anyway, might as well shoot a few crossbows out. The crossbow is very unique that it does more damage the longer it travels, contrary to most weapons having a weapon fall off. It caps at 75 damage, and when hitting an ally, heals for double of what the damage would have been, capping at 150. This makes it a pretty decent spam weapon when given the chance. Another safe situation is when people are expecting to get arrowed, when they are standing still or walking in a straight line, for example. These are really easy arrows to hit and very safe to go for typically. Just make sure not to lose your sense of surroundings while you go for it and get snuck up on accident. It's very tempting to go for clutch arrows in high action team fights, but these arrows are risky to go for. It's easy to get an uber disad as you waste time shooting more arrows, and if you miss, you're quite literally useless. Don't go for amazing clutch arrows unless you have no choice, and as you start off small and gain the confidence to aim well with the crossbow, you should gain a better understanding when it's good to shoot the weapon. There's no easy way to understand when it's best to shoot. Simply gain the experience and continue to acknowledge your mistakes of when you may have inappropriately fired the weapon. This will happen, and that's perfectly okay. Let's move on to the more hands-on ways to practice it. Again, I really do just recommend playing Medic and just getting feel for the weapon directly. But here are a couple ways to help deviate from just exclusively playing the class if you need to mix it up every now and then. A funny yet valuable way to practice is by playing with the Rescue Ranger. It has the same projectile speed as the crossbow, same travel speed and same travel arc, so it helps give you a very solid feeling on how to aim it. I don't exactly recommend running around in servers and trying to kill people with it. Personally, I find more value in just using it offline and shooting it all over the place. Again, the main point is to get a solid feeling on how the weapon feels. Speaking of feeling, we can go over another weapon that gives you a good feeling. It's a bit more fun to use than just running around with the Rescue Ranger. And with this weapon being the direct hit. The direct hit does have a different projectile than the crossbow does, difference being it travels faster and has no arch, but it's still relatively the same aiming style. It's something I flick to aim, like the crossbow, and I find the same aiming style really helps me warmed up for when I need to actually use the crossbow. I like using direct hit as I greatly enjoy playing soldier personally. It's nice to mix it up while getting a solid practice for the class that I actually do main. That's all there really is for fun ways to practice the crossbow. As far as the aiming goes, don't forget to adjust your aim for the distance. Typically at close range, I treat the weapon like it's a hit scan, while I will focus on leading my shots more when someone is farther away. The crossbow has a pretty lenient hitbox, and keep in mind the projectile hitbox for Team Fortress 2 is actually pretty forgiving. Be sure to study these hitboxes as it helps understand easier what you're allowed to get away with. Ways to directly practice a crossbow that does involve just not using the weapon itself, but I consider the crossbow a physical mechanic for a medic, and I am extremely confident in my ability to use the crossbow. While I am not confident in saying that my crossbow aim is one of the best in the world, as there are so many varying game modes that the crossbow is reliable and that isn't competitive exclusive, I am confident in saying that as far as the competitive scene goes, my crossbow aim I think is very much up there. While I think you can achieve being a high-level medic without needing good crossbow aim and using it only for the safe situations, it absolutely does help, and it's nice knowing your medic has a clutch factor ready at their hip. I'll put the map download and the commands to get the bot I was using this video to work correctly. You'll be able to find that stuff in the description below. Be sure to look out for my other videos based on other mechanics for medic, and I appreciate you sticking around to get my insight on how I personally like to practice this. That means a lot to me. Further than that, hope you all have a good day, and hopefully I see you guys next time for when I talk about more mechanics for medic and how I like to personally practice them. That means you have to go in combat.
I'm top left.
Oh fuck, up to a pole.
Scout top right.
Alright, I am going
Trying to hit the
in
scout for
3
top right.
seconds.
Scout to 40, sword to 50.
I'm going.
Automatic.
I'm in.
I got fucking killed by a
On
fucking
demo.
fight. Just killed the medic and demo. Nice. Demo's hurt as well, lower.
Scott dead. Flip up.
Habib, I need you to shoot the guys on the left roof.
Left roof, got it. Yo, our medic is on second right now. Broking's on our medic.
Come on.
Maybe could have gotten back.
Mercy, can you survive?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Ah,
Alright.
Where are you lower?
Two.
Lower.